I swear I felt my heart break that night. Quietly, like a branch giving way beneath heavy snow. It started with a laugh. Not just any laugh, her laugh. The one that used to lull me to sleep back when we were still in love. But that night it wasn't mine. It came from across the table, where my wife, Emily, leaned in toward another man, her hand brushing his arm as if it belonged there. We were at her company's annual dinner. I'd come along because she asked, though looking back, I'm not sure she really wanted me there. Her boss, a guy named Tyler, had hosted a private party to celebrate a big deal. The kind filled with expensive wine and people desperate to impress each other. Emily fit right in. I didn't. I fix HVAC systems for a living. I don't network. I just fix broken things. But that night, the one thing I couldn't fix was my marriage. Relax, Daniel, Emily whispered, flashing that polished, perfect smile she saved for public settings. You look like you'd rather be anywhere else. I probably would, I muttered. You've been talking to that guy for half an hour. You haven't even looked at me. She rolled her eyes. God, not this again. He's my coworker. Am I not allowed to have a conversation without you turning into the jealous husband cliché? I'm not jealous, I said, though we both knew I was more hurt than angry. She cut me off, keeping her smile for the room. Then stop glaring like you're about to start a fight. I looked at her, the flawless lipstick, the elegant dress, the intoxicating perfume. I used to love seeing her like this. But tonight, all I saw was someone who no longer saw me. Someone who looked more alive beside another man than she had in my arms in months. I tried to calm myself, but then Tyler leaned closer and whispered something in her ear. She laughed, that same soft, effortless laugh that used to belong to me, and I felt my grip tighten around my glass until it nearly cracked. Then she looked at me, eyes cold behind her polite smile. If you're that jealous, Daniel, she said, her voice low but sharp, then go home. Her words cut deep. Go home if you're jealous, she repeated, daring me. So I did. Without a word, I stood up, grabbed my coat and left. The drive home was silent, just the hum of the tires and her voice echoing in my head. Go home if you're jealous. It didn't sound like permission. It sounded like dismissal. When we first got married, Emily used to cling to my arm at parties, proud to show me off. This is my husband, Daniel. He can fix anything, she'd say, smiling like I was her hero. But somewhere between her promotion and her new crowd, that pride disappeared. I became just Daniel, the man who didn't fit in her polished world. When I pulled into the driveway, I sat there for a long time, staring at the empty passenger seat. My phone buzzed a few times, coworkers, maybe a friend, but not her. She didn't even text to ask if I made it home. I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her hand on his arm, that smirk she gave him. By 2 a.m., something inside me snapped. It wasn't anger, it was clarity. I was done being the unwanted one in my own marriage. So I made a decision. If Emily wanted space, I'd give her all the space she needed. At 3:47 a.m., I heard her stumble through the front door. I pretended to be asleep. Her heels clicked across the floor, then stopped. I caught the faint scent of whiskey and men's cologne, not mine. She hesitated, maybe glanced my way, then whispered something under her breath before heading to the bathroom. The shower turned on. That's when I noticed the dark smear of lipstick on her collar, not the shade she'd worn to dinner. Something twisted inside me. I wanted to confront her, to shout, "Why are you doing this to us?" But instead I waited. Morning would say what words couldn't. When dawn broke, I got up quietly, made coffee and started packing, just the basics. Clothes, tools, a few keepsakes. I left my wedding ring on the counter beside her favorite mug. By the time she woke, I was gone. At 8:32, my phone started ringing. Emily. I ignored it. Then came the texts. Daniel, where are you? We need to talk. Why would you just leave like that? This isn't funny. By noon, the calls were nonstop. When I finally answered, her voice was frantic. Daniel, where the hell are you? At peace, I said quietly. What does that mean? It means you told me to go home if I was jealous. I did. And now I'm staying gone. Daniel, stop being dramatic. You embarrassed me last night. Walking out like that. People asked where you went. Maybe you should have told them I went home, I said. Just like you told me to. Silence. Then her voice softened. You're overreacting. I didn't do anything wrong. I laughed bitterly. You didn't do anything, Emily. You came home at 4 in the morning smelling like someone else's cologne. You think I'm blind. That's not what it looks like, she said quickly. Tyler was drunk. He spilled his drink on me, that's all. I showered when I got home, didn't I? Her words came too fast. Too practiced. Right, I said. Just like how you forgot to call when you got there. Or how you didn't notice when I left. You're twisting everything, she snapped. God. You always make me feel like the villain when I'm just trying to live my life. Then go live it, I said quietly. Just don't expect me to keep pretending this marriage isn't already falling apart. She paused. Where are you going to go? Does it matter? I said. You didn't care where I was last night. Then I hung up. That day I drove 2 hours to my brother's cabin. No signal, no noise, just silence. The kind of silence that forces you to face everything you've been avoiding. I spent that night on the porch, staring at the stars, wondering when love had turned into suspicion, when laughter had become lies. The truth hit hard. I'd been fighting for a version of her that no longer existed. The next morning my phone buzzed again. A voicemail this time. Her voice was softer, cracked around the edges. Daniel, please call me. I didn't mean what I said. I was drunk, stupid. I shouldn't have told you to go home. A pause. A shaky breath. I don't even know why I flirted with him. It didn't mean anything. But when you left, it felt like I lost everything. Please come back. We can fix this. For a moment my heart almost caved. But then I remembered her eyes that night. That look of pure indifference when she told me to leave. This wasn't about one bad evening. It was years of small, deliberate choices that eroded what we had. So I sent one last text. You told me to go home if I was jealous. I finally did. Turns out home isn't where you are anymore. Weeks passed. She called a few more times then stopped. Word got around that she'd quit her job soon after. Apparently, things with her boss didn't end well. Maybe karma had its way. As for me, I started over. Rented a small apartment. Went back to work. Rebuilt my peace one day at a time. It still hurts sometimes. I still think about her laugh, the one that used to belong to me. But it doesn't break me anymore. Because that night, when she told me to go home, she thought she was pushing me away out of spite. What she didn't realize was that she'd freed me from a love that had already died. And that freedom, I learned, was priceless.